something that I've come across as well is that there's this talk of indigenous peoples, and that with the creation of the Israeli state, it was like an imposition on the indigenous peoples. Now, I think there's some sort of, shall we say, insinuation or likening to like when, you know, the Europeans and the Northerners came into like places, let's say, for example, in Australia, we had, there wasn't a whole good history between the native Aborigines, and then, you know, the Europeans came in, there was bad relations there, right? They killed them. It's the same thing with America, with the Indians as well. Is that the same with, shall we say, the Palestinians in the land? With like Israel came in and they killed them and stuff like that?
No, first, you have to approach this topic in two different ways depending on who you're speaking to. If you're talking to just a secular crowd, a non-Bible believing crowd, non-Christian crowd, then you have to look at historical references. I mean, even recent historical references. The UN and the precursor to the UN, the League of Nations, and the British mandate that it set up, all of these documents recognized the Jewish history in the land. And that's why those original documents supported the recreation of a Jewish state in the land. So, you know, obviously there was a recognition that the Jews themselves were, if not the, then one of the indigenous peoples. So if we're going to talk about indigenous peoples, then you have to include the Jews in that definition. Yeah. And so then it becomes a question of, well, which indigenous people has a right to set up, you know, the ruling political entity in the land? And again, you know, let's just go back to recent historical documentation. The British mandate documented the population of the land when it was there. The population when it first got there was very sparse, but it included Jews and Arabs. Jews began to move back, again, which was documented, but eventually stopped by the British for a period. But the Jews that did manage to make it in began to transform the land, began to establish business, began to build farms, began to drain the swamps. And the British documented that an influx of Arab immigration resulted.
Okay.
Because of the work that was created there. It was by far the most prosperous Middle East territory at the time. Still is now, but during that time especially. And I mean, this was all documented. So that all of this is ignored now in the argument is unfortunate.